Well, good evening, First Baptist Church. It's Wednesday night, and I'm glad that you are joining with us tonight. I have a dear friend with me, Marcia McDaniel, as we talk about First Baptist Church through the eyes of the people. We talked about the history of the buildings and the structures and pastors that have come and go, but there have been lots of people that have been a part of this congregation who have taught us about Jesus and who have cared and loved us and mentored us over the years. And so getting perspective from the people is so important. So tonight, Marcia McDaniels is going to come and share with us. Marcia, thank you for joining me this evening. Tell me, how long have you been in this church?
Well, we moved here in 1969
Okay.
when my dad was going to be Pickens High School principal.
Okay.
So I'm telling my age a little bit, but we've been here quite a few years.
All right. So tell me what it was like for you as a child.
Well, a lot of times when I think back, most of the things I think about is coming to GAs on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
We always had our Wednesday nights, and we always enjoyed thoroughly going to GAs and some of the funniest, I guess I'd say, or the warmest teachers,
Yeah.
and to make things fun, but you're learning about God, and then later on teaching,
Mm-hmm.
teaching GAs and stuff. And we always had choir, and I can't sing, and I'll be the first to admit that. And but God doesn't care what we sound like. We're just praising Him, and I just love it. And that we just had some fun, directors growing up, and. We didn't have one that was here for a while until David came, and but we had one where he would come up with some of the funniest songs. One of them was like "Give Me Oil in My Lamp," but he made something funny at the end, and you're learning the Lord, but you're having fun too. And he had this big old tub, sort of like you would when you go bob for apples, the big tub, and he had like a guitar string there and a big stick, and he made that a musical instrument, and I'm sure there's a name for that, but I do not know that right now, knowing not being instrumental. But like I say, that's something that always pops in my head, And then is when we finally got to be, old enough to go to youth choir, you're big, and I still have a sore spot with my parents because they wouldn't let me go on the first mission trip with them, and which they had some experiences with that, being the first one. But it was later on I got to go, and we'll talk more about that in a little while. But
Well, and we're in the old choir room because as I've asked people, and I'm going to continue to ask folks about sharing with me on a Wednesday night, one of their favorite spots within the church. And so when I asked Marcia, one of her favorite spots in the church was the old choir room. So why is it so one of your favorite spots in this place?
Well, even though it looks just a tad different than it did back then, we this just holds very fond memories for me. Because, on Sunday afternoon, we were not going to be anywhere except at choir. Yeah. On Sunday afternoon, it doesn't matter what we were doing. We had choir on Sunday afternoon and the youth meal afterwards, and we would come, and we would come in here and laugh and talk. And, of course, David was our choir director at that time, and he might have got a little upset with us a few times, because all we wanted to do was talk with each other, but, I don't know why, but David became a mentor to all of us. And, to this day, we have a bond, and even with David, and you just have these fond memories. And I think that's why this is important to me, is because this is where you formed all those friendships, so.
And you'd earlier you've been telling me about a get-together that you're going to have.
Yes. One of the things, we keep up with each other, thank goodness that's one thing I love about social media. You can keep up with your friends and things with social media, and but we're going to have a celebration of life, per se, with all those who were with, a good group who was in the group with us, and we're going to celebrate Dean Gooch's life. Wow. And Dean was just one. She was like a second mom to our family, to my brother and sister, and our families were really close. And we just always we have that bond. And all of us, she was one of our parents, like my mom and Mary Lee Harrison. Many of these parents were just there. Miss Geneva, everybody says Miss Nevy, and she would go on mission trips with us and things too. And we just have wonderful memories. But we're going to celebrate the life of Dean with Blake.
Wow. That's neat. Well, what keeps you coming back every week?
Just I love being part of preschool, and being there, and the children and the staff mean a lot to me, and being part of that, and just the kindness and I guess I want to say the loving congregation. And how generous the congregation are. Everybody just is so generous, and they genuinely care for each other, and I think that's a lot of it.
Neat. Beautiful words, beautiful memories. I know.
Oh, it is, and just this church always, have a special place in my heart.
Neat. Well, Marsha, thank you so much for joining with us tonight on talking about First Baptist Church through the eyes of the peoples. Thank you for sharing these memories with us.
Sure.
And because I know that folks who are listening can resonate with some of these memories as Marsha has talked about. The old choir room, memories of David, and youth trips. And so thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to see you next week on Wednesday night. So have a good night.
Got more tongue-tied.